Hi guys, so today we'll be solving this problem called array with elements not equal to average of neighbors. Now in this problem, we've been given an array and we need to ensure that every element is not an average of its neighbor. So say suppose we take 2, now 2's neighbors are 1 and 3. And what if we do 1 plus 3 by 2, which is given 4 by 2, which is 2. Now 2 is an element which is an average of its neighbor. So we need to rearrange this array in such a way that we get element in such that the neighboring elements is not an average of the current element that we are on. So how we can solve this problem is that, first of all, what if we sort the array and then we make a graph? So in this graph, we'll get every element in a straight linear line, which is increasing. So to ensure that we don't get an average in the current element, which is the middle element between the neighbor, what we can do is that we can put a peak inside between these two elements, okay, between the two elements which are there. So what if we put a peak? So we know that average of two elements which are supposedly on increasing, all right, so their average won't be greater than the greater element in the average, right? So what if we put that? So in this way we'll ensure that there is no uh, any average of the current element, as both the neighboring elements would be smaller than the current element. In such case, say suppose if we are on this, then both the elements are smaller than the neighboring element, and if we are on this, both the elements are greater than uh, the current element. So we will never get an average in this case. So to ensure that, what we'll be doing is that 1 2 3 4 5. So say suppose this is an array and we have 0 1 2 3 4, and we need to make a new array such that we'll be putting all the elements at the odd position and the remaining elements in between. So 4. Okay, so here what we have is that, so 1 is here, then we have 2, then we have 3, and we have 4 here, and then we have 5. Okay, so this graph is looking like this. Now in this way we'll be ensure that the current element is not an average of the neighboring element. So this is one of the way where we have a time complexity of O of n log n, and space is also O of n. Is there a better way? Yeah, there's a better way. So the better way can be, so suppose 1 2 3 4 5, and we need to ensure that the current element is not the average of the previous element, which is the neighboring element, and the neighboring element ahead. So in this problem, what will in this method, what we'll be doing is that we'll be making sure we'll be traversing the whole array. We'll be starting from 1, and we'll be checking if 2 is equal to 1 plus 3 by 2. If it's equal, then what we do is we swap uh, nums of I, which is 2 comma nums of I plus 1. Okay, so in this way we'll be getting 1 3 2 4 5. Okay, this would be the current element, current array. Now if we see, if we iterate, right, so we go to the next element. Now we come here, so now 2, so talking about 2, so 2 is equal to 3 plus 4 by 2, which is 4 5 6 7, 7 by 2, which is 3. So this is not happening. So we move ahead, we come here. So 4 is equal to 2 plus 5 by 2, 7 by 2, which is 3. Again, it's not equal. So we go out of the loop. Okay. Now, just to ensure that the elements that we have swapped are not being an average of the elements which are on the neighbor, we do one more loop, which is from the back. We start from here. We go all the way up to here, just to ensure that we haven't got any element such that their neighbors are equal. the average of the neighbors are equal. So this is the way that we can solve this problem. So I'll be coding the optimized version of this one, and it will be more clear for you to understand. All right, so let me just code it for you. So yeah, this is the problem. This was asked in the weekly contest. So let's do it. For int I is equal to 1, I is less than nums dot size minus 1, I plus plus. So checking if 2 into nums of I is equal to nums of I minus 1 plus nums of I plus 1. So what is this? Is that 2 into nums of I, which basically nums of I is equal to nums of I minus 1, which is the previous element, and nums of I plus 1, which is the next element, divide by 2. So divide by 2, we are taking the 2 on the left. So which is the element? So we are multiplying the element with the 2, and we are checking if the sum of the neighboring element is equal or not. So if it equal, then we do nums of I, swapping nums of I and nums of I plus 1. Okay. Similarly, we'll be moving from right to left, right? So nums dot size minus 2, I greater than 0, I minus minus, and same thing we'll be copying here as we are checking the same conditions again. Okay. Let's run the code. Yeah, we need to return also. Yeah, that is accepted. So I hope you guys understood the problem. Do solve it and do like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.